Someone literally complained because I refer to myself as Auntie. I really feel like y'all are running out of stuff. You're too young to be calling yourself an auntie. I realize that common sense isn't common. Y'all know that there can be aunties of all ages. There are people who, for whatever reason, people get pregnant at different times, and you could be just born and be an auntie. You could be a 10-year-old auntie. You could be a 15-year-old auntie, a 20-year-old auntie. In the sense that I'm referring to myself as an auntie, it's just that's the name that a lot of you have given me because of my age, because, that's just the age range that watches my content is between the ages usually of 18 and 24, the next bracket being 24 to about 35. And then, of course, everybody watches my content, but those are the largest age ranges, and you guys usually refer to me as Auntie when you comment. I'm not putting myself down, and it's a sign, it's showing someone respect, because you respect the things that they say, you respect the things that they do. Some of y'all need to get a life. Anyway, let's get on with the lesson. So I'm going to continue the video that I just posted, and it's about this fairy tale mindset that women tend to live in when it comes to dating and relationships. In the last video, I talked about this fairy tale mindset when it comes to finances. In this video, I want to talk about us having the fairy tale mindset when it comes to a man swooping in and saving the day, and we think that's going to solve all of our problems. I will never forget, I posted just sharing my struggle with mental health and that I was just going through a rough time, and this guy commented and said, "I thought you said you didn't need a man." Now, nowhere during me sharing that did I say that I was lonely and that I needed a man. I said I was depressed. And if you think that a man is going to solve your mental health issues, you're a new level of delusional. These men are really walking around thinking that they're going to fix all your problems, and that to live without them means you have nothing but problems. And there are women who believe this too, unfortunately. You can still be lonely in a relationship. You can still be touch deprived in a relationship. You can still struggle with mental health issues in a relationship. You can still have financial issues in a relationship. The only thing that has changed is your relationship status. There are so many women who really feel that once they sign that marriage certificate and walk down the aisle, or once they change their relationship status on social media, or once they start, being in a relationship officially, they think that some kind of magical Cinderella, fairy godmother moment is going to happen, and there's going to be glitter and sparkles, and it's going to transform their life into perfection. You heard the song, more money, more problems, more people, more problems. You now have a whole nother person in your life, and bringing another person into your life tends to bring out and exacerbate the issues that you already have, and more issues, because there's some issues that we can only work through in relationships with other people, whether that be with our kids, with our siblings, with the people we work with our friends. You get what I'm saying. And with that particular time in my life, a man would have been the worst fucking thing for me to bring on, because then you got to worry about, am I showing them enough attention? Am I being attentive enough? I really need to snap out of it soon. I hope this isn't a burden to them. I much rather go through my low energy phases alone. And that's not to say that there's not some great man out there who would be glad to wait on me hand and foot and nurse me through any kind of problems that I'm having. But just for me right now, I want to be left alone to, sleep in, to figure out what I want to do, to self-care, and not have to worry about, now I got to entertain this other person. Am I a burden to them? Whatever. And as far as somebody thinking it's going to solve your loneliness issue, come on. The stories that I have heard of women who were in full-blown marriages and relationships and still felt more lonely than when they were single. And as someone who has experienced this, there is only a few things in this life that are more agonizing than being with someone, being close proximity to that person, and you still feel lonely. That is an agonizingly miserable feeling. The feeling of you guys possibly growing apart and you don't feel like they're trying to do the work. The feeling of maybe knowing that they're cheating on you and they're in denial and you don't have quite enough evidence yet to figure it out. Maybe they have a job that keeps them tied up all the time and they really can't spend quality time with you. Maybe they're just a half-assed person and they're just really complacent and they're not trying hard enough. Maybe it's that feeling of knowing that you settled, but for whatever reason you don't want to give up because you want to have that perfect image of, a happy marriage, two-parent household, whatever the case may be. I'm not one of those people who believes that you have to be perfect before you can be with somebody. I think that's stupid. If that was the case, then nobody would be married or in relationships. And this whole idea of loving yourself, I get it. There's going to be days when you don't and you're not as confident. And if everybody loved themselves to 100% capacity consistently every single day, and that was a requirement, nobody would be married in relationships. We're imperfect human beings, okay? But what I will say is this. I feel like you're in a better place to have a healthy relationship if you are content with being single. That means I'm not out here driving myself crazy trying to find the one. I'm not stressing myself out because I got to follow a timeline and be married by a certain time and a certain age and have babies by a certain age. I'm not, if I'm dating a guy and he ghosts me, you know what, it is what it is. My feelings might be hurt, but I'm going to be okay. I could take it or leave it. I feel like that's a powerful place to be in because you're good either way. You're more likely to end up with somebody amazing and healthy because you're not going to take anybody's shit. But the more you're stressing yourself out, the more you hate your own company, the more you live in this la-la land of thinking that a man is going to solve your problems and make you happy and erase all your issues, you're going to set yourself up to be in a bad, unhealthy relationship. And there might be exceptions to the rule where somebody did those things and they ended up in a happy relationship. Anybody can say they're happy and really not be. I read somewhere that, 40 to 50% of marriages end in divorce, depending on where you look, it's going to say that range somewhere along that. Okay, and then you take all those people, right? Only 33% of those people are actually in happy and healthy marriages. If I went to a party with 100 people and they locked the door behind us and nobody could get out and somebody stood up on their microphone and said, hey, only 33% of you guys are going to live, I would be freaked out. So with statistics like that, your best bet is not to bet on a man or a relationship, but to bet on yourself.